Hello, thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For this cycle, I guess you would call it, I'm going to use the Awaken Tarot. I haven't used this one in a while, but I do like this deck. I think it was created like a group effort because it's got team, I always mess up the name, RYVE, so Reeve. And there's myreeve.com at the bottom if you want to check that out. So that way if you like this deck and you want to check it out, feel free to do so. There's that. The Oracle cards I'm going to be using are Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. Big fan of Sandra. And the website, that's why I got the book out. The websites are, am I on the right one? Yep, there are a bunch of Hay House websites. Feel free to freeze frame and go into any of those you're interested in. Sandra Ann Taylor, I think there's something on the back here too, so I'll show you that. Feel free to freeze frame and check out any of the information. I think there's a website at the bottom, or there's a Hay House Radio link there or something. And the last part is I do use dice. For the major arcana, I use a 22-sided dice. I use 22 as 0 for the Fool, and then, up to 21 is the World. And then I have a 14-sided dice for the minor arcana, and then I use a 4-sided dice to choose the element. And Math Art Fun, I think, is what the website is. If I get that close enough, hopefully you can see it. mathartfun.com if you want to find the dice. Alright, I think we're good with that. Of course, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and now let's go on to your read. Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. Did I just damage one of my cards? That being said, what do we have for Taurus? That was a random. Anyway, let's find out what we have for Taurus, shall we? Ooh, okay. So, what I went to is that your card showed up. So things should be going the direction you want them to, but well, I got some face down cards because apparently I'm in that mood. We'll see as we keep going. So is this like a what is this? You got the Knight, not the Knight, the King of Wands in the past, which is a very strong push forward. So, at the very least, this is an energy you need to deal with, or probably have been dealing with. It could be something that, like, there's this very strong person. It could be a situation, could be a job, like an aspect of your job that just, like, it's very random, it's very demanding, has to be handled in the moment. Boom, boom, boom. Could be an aspect of your job, just to be fair. More than likely, it's a person, though, and it's somebody, again, very demanding, very random, a lot of energy coming forward. They do what they do. Usually works out pretty well, but not without a lot of mistakes. But still, this is a very successful energy. It's not really compatible with you in the sense of, like, Taurus doesn't like to waste their time. This energy, they'll try 15, 20 things, probably get 5 successes, but those successes are big and they're huge, and they didn't hold on to the things that didn't work long enough to really pull them down. But still, you're like, yeah, but I'm not into wasting time trying 15 different versions to only find 5 that work. So this isn't something that really is compatible to you, but it works for its own energy, for who they are, for whatever this is. It works for itself well. It's happy with itself. It's not bad nor good. It's just, this is how that energy works. That's all that's meant to describe. Granted, I'm not thinking it's something you're really down with. You don't really care for it. Again, doing 15 to 20 things and only having 5 of them actually work out. Even though they're stellar, they work out wonderfully. You're like, yeah, but what about all the other things that we failed at? That's a lot of wasted time. I don't like that. It's not your jam, typically. Not typically Taurus's jam. There might be a Libra connected with this for some of you. It doesn't have to be a literal Libra, but I'm getting, like, there might be somebody also connected with this situation that's very good at, like, getting you involved in things that you're like, I don't really think I want to, but then they kind of convince you to get involved with. That may be how you ended up in this situation. That's like a little side thing. So if it fits, great. If it don't worry about it. This is something that you've been dealing with, and you've been holding it together a certain way for a while. You might even be kind of like, I only deal with that where I have to. It might be one of those things where, yeah, I only deal with that where I have to. That stays over there. That stays over there. I do my stuff over here. They stay over there. Once in a while I have to deal with them. I know that. I feel like that's kind of the energy too. Kind of like, yeah, I know. I have to deal with them every now and then. I know. And they stay over there. I'm here. They're there. I go over there and deal with it when I need to. It reminds me of like people who, for example, if you have a job where 2 hours of the day you have to be on the phones, and it's just like, some phone jobs are madhouses. They just are. It's kind of like, yep, from noon to 2, that's what I do. I know, the rest of the day, no. I start off my day a certain way. Noon comes around, I do this till 2 o'clock. Then from there out, I don't do it. It has its place. It has its time. I handle it where I need to. Okay. Conflict breaks out. I have a feeling this doesn't shock you in the least. You're like, oh, that happened again? Not shocked. Do you like it? Absolutely not. But are you shocked? No. Conflict breaks out. I don't think this is a rare thing, but this one, why is this one different? Why is this one different? Is a good question. All right, so it's kind of like, somebody's trying to deconstruct something here. Somebody's like way off the page on this one. Like, it reminds, if we're going to use that phone situation again, this is one of those things where I've worked on phone jobs before, and I remember the more complicated ones, they had, like, you had to, like, fill out certain things when you had to deal with them, and you had to, like, there's certain things you're trying to get on this phone call, and you're supposed to fill in everything you got, and if you didn't, you have to acknowledge that you at least tried, or why you couldn't, like, phone call ended too quickly, or whatever. And it's kind of like somebody's just ignoring the whole procedure. They're, like, ignoring the whole procedure. Boom. And it's kind of like, wait, what? Like, that is a conflict. And you're kind of like, no, that's a conflict in the sense of, like, I'm not okay with that either. Like, people need to be doing that, because how else are we going to look back and be like, well, what did we get from that call? And if we didn't get it, why didn't we get it? Like, we need to have some structure to work off of this. This is something where you're like, yeah, no, I don't like that either. No, that's not okay. No. You're also kind of like, at the same time, you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that, because you might not be in a position to tell other people how they're supposed to handle it. But at the same time, you're like, yeah, no, I don't like that. That's not okay. I don't do it that way, not because I can't do it, not because I'm not supposed to do that or whatever, but because I do think, like, I use those. If this person had that call the first time, if I get it the third or fourth time, I look at whoever got what else, and I look at, like, okay, these things are missing. Now that I'm talking to that person, I try to fill in these other things, because that's part of my job, so I try to get as much of that filled as possible and keep going. And I don't want to rework something that somebody else has already done. I don't like that. Again, Taurus, all earth signs are not about wasting your time. All three of you, which is Virgo, Capricorn, and you, Taurus. None of y'all about wasting your time. Y'all here show up. You show up to make a difference, for your time to be utilized correctly. So it's one of those things where I feel like, again, I can't say anything, but I'm thinking about it. I feel like I can't say anything for some reason. I'm just like, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that, because I feel like that's gonna trickle down later and be a problem. I don't like that. So even though you're off and you're still fine, your job is still doing, or whatever, if it's a job, whatever the situation is, whatever part of this is for you, you're still fine. It doesn't have to be a job. It could be a social situation, a family thing, whatever it is. You're still fine where you are, but I feel like you're also kind of like, yeah, but that could trickle down over my way. I don't like this. This is the unforeseen for you. Yeah, even though you can't have a say, I do feel like this is a good thing to acknowledge. Okay, so I'm going to just do the dice because that's hostilities, and we got the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is the fruitless win. Kind of like, oh, I'm not happy about this. And I'm also feeling, I feel like I'm unempowered. I don't feel empowered. Like, I could say something, but I feel like it's not going to go to my advantage, and people might try to make it look like I'm difficult. And I don't like that. I'm stuck. I'm not happy. You're definitely not happy. I feel like you need to vent this correctly. You need to vent this correctly. In this very moment, you need to have an outlet where you feel heard. This is a problem. They're saying, even though you're like, okay, it's not hitting my job directly, but I'm like, this makes me nervous, because if this starts to, shake down the structure, I don't like that. So I feel like they're saying, I don't know if there's like somebody you can talk to that's a coworker, or if you have somebody else, like a boss maybe, who is more understanding, and you just need to kind of like talk this out with them. Like, I know this isn't my job, but I'm afraid that this might come over this way. I just want to talk out what I'm seeing and what I don't like. I'm not trying to blow anybody in, but I saw that this happened, and I feel like this is a problem, and I want to deal with it now rather than later. Not in a sense of like, this is wrong, that is wrong. In the sense of like, this is what I saw happen, and I feel like this is bad for the situation overall, and this is why. Not in a point of fingers like, they did this, they did that. More in the sense of like, I saw that they did this sheet and they just ignored the whole thing. They didn't fill it out. And if it comes over here, I have to start from square one because it's not filled out. Meanwhile, the person I'm talking to is going to be angry because they feel like I'm wasting their time, or that I don't know what I'm doing, because they have to re-answer questions they've already answered once. And it makes me uncomfortable. I don't like wasting my time. I don't want to waste the company's time. I'm just using a job as a reference, but it could be any situation, social or family, whatever. They're saying you do need to kind of vent this out, because this is going to start festering. This is going to like, it's going to be that, it's kind of like a weed that's kind of taking hold in the garden, and it's kind of like, if I don't pluck it out now, it's going to grow. It's kind of like a dandelion. It'll go to seed, and all of a sudden you have one dandelion, and now you have, I don't know how many you can get from what, like all the seeds go everywhere. There's a bunch of them. So now I have 15 dandelions I have to deal with, and then they go to sprout, and then now I have 50. They just keep multiplying. We need to nip it in the bud, because it is bothering you. They're just acknowledging that, like, this is definitely bothering you. And if you deal with it earlier, not in the sense of like, I'm solving the problem, but like finding somebody you trust to talk it out so you can get that energy, so somebody can hear what you're saying. Maybe they even need to be a sounding board for you. So like, all right, I'm hearing what you're saying, Taurus. Is this what you mean? Maybe somebody who can be a sounding board like that. Because if you can vent this energy out, it lines it up, it puts more structure behind it, and it helps you see where maybe you do have more power here than you thought. Because you might have more say than you realize for some reason. Okay. Because I see your card coming forward. Your moment is coming. Why is Taurus's moment coming? Why? 2 cards. Oh, yeah, you're not alone. You're not alone, but yeah, this is why. This is why you want to vent this out ahead of time. You tell the right person, and I feel like again, Taurus doesn't waste their time. If it's a coworker, there's a reason you're telling a certain coworker, you're talking it out. If it's a boss, I feel like you trust them or whatever. If you get that energy out there, it has a chance to create something, right? There are other people who also feel the way you do. Maybe not exactly the same. So it's almost like they're like, well, they didn't have to fill out the whole thing, but they really should have at least acknowledged some of it. So it's kind of like, people may have a similar feeling, but not exactly the same, if you follow me. And you're like, no, they should have filled out the whole thing. Anyway, we're just going to keep moving. If your energy isn't out there, there might be some rules or some type of workaround that comes in about this, that it's kind of like, I mean, that's not as bad as that, but that's still not good. It might be one of those things. It's kind of like, we should have made $1 on that. The way that person did it, we didn't even make 1 cent. And this person's coming in here like, well, we could do like 46 cents. We can make 46 cents on it. And you're like, no, we should be making $1. No, we should be making $1 every time. And the fact that that person made nothing on it, like, clearly that's wrong. But somebody else saying, yeah, but we could make 46 cents. 46 cents is not correct. $1. $1, we should make $1 every time. $1 is correct. So if your energy's already out there, this makes it a lot easier for you to position yourself in here, kind of like, no. We need to make $1. $1 every time. The potential's there. There's no reason we shouldn't make $1 every time. It's kind of like, if you work a 40-hour work week and you make $1 an hour, just to make it simple, that's the only reason. You at the end of that 40-hour work week want your $40. You don't want it would be less than 20, clearly. You don't want less than 20. You don't want less than half of that. Clearly, you didn't show up just for fun. Okay, so I the energy is raising up. I'm like, oh, I can see where this would kind of be an issue. It's even annoying me. Oh no, I don't show up for fun. I show up, especially if it's a job situation. You're not just showing up because you had nothing else to do. Not for nothing. Okay. This moment's going to show up either way. And if your energy's already out there, I'm telling you, this is so much easier for you, because they're saying what not to do. This is really important. What not to do is to not center on where you're upset. If you've already vented out to the right people how you felt, this is a lot easier. This is a lot easier to not do. But you also, not only is it easier because you already kind of vented it out a little bit, I feel like you also have that backing where people are like, oh yeah, I knew Taurus felt that way, and you already knew you already talked it out with them, so you're comfortable with them understanding where you stand to a point, of course. So them backing you up makes sense to you. It feels better. So if you're already there, it makes this easier. Either way, they're like, don't center on where you're upset. Don't center on what you're not happy with. What they're saying to center on is this. Okay, this energy is very direct. Sometimes it talks about Aries energy. You don't have to be dealing with an Aries person, but the energy that I'm getting from this, very direct. The truth, right directly, boom, this is it. This needs to be filled out for this reason. We don't need to be all talking around about it in circles. This energy doesn't like that. This needs to be filled out. This is why. There's no negotiation. Just do it. That's kind of this energy. It's kind of like maybe you might have to stand your ground a little bit on it, but we don't want to talk about what you're unhappy about. Be careful of that, because I feel like that can be redirected against you. Not that you're wrong, I'm not saying that, but I just feel like somebody will twist that and just, we don't need that. Simple, direct, to the point. Simple, direct, to the point. We're not talking about what you're unhappy with. You want to stay away from how you feel about it. You just want to get to the facts. This here, this is wrong. This is how it needs to be done. This is why. Simple, direct, to the facts. Simple, direct, to the facts. I know you can definitely do it. Okay. If we do it that way, there's going to be this weird bottleneck. I feel like this bottleneck where people are just not making very quick decisions, but if they at least sort it out correctly, I don't think that's going to bother you. Okay. This is where things go your way, ironically. Because people don't know what to do. Things are not changing. Things are not changing. There's one more card. There's two more cards upside down. Okay. Yeah, this bothers you. You're like, this is bad. You want to believe in these people. It's hard for you, but this is going to be a weird one. This is definitely going to be weird. But it goes in your favor. It does go in your favor, but I wouldn't say it feels completely comfortable to you, because the reason it's going into your favor is because you're standing up and you're saying, this isn't good, this isn't right, and it's causing this bottleneck. I keep getting this bottleneck. And when I think bottleneck, there's too much coming in at once and it can't get out the other side fast enough. It bottlenecks so much that I feel like it just jams and it just stops. I think that's why I'm kind of getting that analogy. There's too much and then it's like it clogs and it just it just stops moving. Nothing happens. Thus, the situation stays the way you're used to it being. It stays the way that it works. It's going to go into this error of like, well, what's going to happen next? It just kind of, it's almost like it floats in the air almost. It's just like, it's something that people keep saying they have to deal with, yet don't deal with. When you hear this come up, the advice is to just remind people what you like about it. Keep going with what you like about it. Keep reminding people what works. Keep reminding people what you like and what works. I know it makes sense where you'd be like, well, I wouldn't like this because that could be a problem, or that could go wrong, or if you don't do this, this could go wrong. I just feel like people whipping that around and causing an issue. You might be talking about literally the same thing. So like instead of saying, you know, if we don't fill out that form, we're not going to know people, we didn't talk to people, or we aren't going to know we talked to certain people, and they're going to be angry thinking we don't know what we're doing. Instead of going that direction, going, you know, when we fill that out, we can see that we definitely talked to that person before, and we can show that we know who they are, and we're taking what they said before seriously. You're like, same type of energy, just taking it a different direction. Like you're making your point, but like if you keep talking about it in a positive way, it's the same thing, but people are more receptive. Like, hey, you're right, Taurus, that does make us look better. Hey, Taurus, you're right, that brings more confidence and makes it easier for the next person. Like, you keep showing positive things, people latch onto that. People are more likely to back that up. That's kind of where we're going. Because it goes into this weird limbo area where it's just kind of like, are we going to actually deal with this? Are we going to change something? Are we going to actually deal with this? And if you keep reinforcing the positive, whoever wants to change, I feel like whoever wants to change it, they just don't want to put in the effort. There's something about, they just don't want to do it, and that's just why. They just don't want to do it. So they want to simplify it, but if you keep positively reinforcing it, it just makes it that much harder to change. And if it does change, there's going to be certain things where, well, Taurus said that's a positive thing, and Taurus said this is a positive thing, and these other people said those things were positive things. So how do we keep those positive things and still change this? So maybe we'll change it, but we got to keep all these positive things. How do we keep all these positive things? That's where they're saying just keep positively reinforcing it. There's this need to talk about everything that could go wrong, and it would make sense. It would make sense, but like you get more bees with honey. It's one of those things. I mean, I'm sure you've heard it, probably even said it to many people. This is one of those moments. Hopefully that's helpful. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and you have a great day.